This podcast was written and created by Avi Melamed, Middle East intelligence analyst and founder of the Inside the Middle East Institute.
The burst of clashes between Syrian Kurds and the Syrian government in the beginning of 2026 are a reminder of a deeper Kurdish reality. Time and again, the Kurds have been mobilized as partners, allies, or proxies, only to be abandoned when geopolitical interests shift. Avi Melamed is sharing with us in a series of podcasts the unique saga of the Kurds, who the Kurds are. This is Episode 5, The Kurds in Turkey. Let's dive in.
And, to really grasp the weight of this issue in Turkey, you have to start with the sheer scale. We're not talking about a small minority group here.
Not at all.
As Avi Melamed highlights in his analysis, Turkey holds the largest Kurdish congregation in the world.
We're looking at roughly 15 to 20 million people.
Which is, almost a quarter of Turkey's entire population? It's
Right.
huge. And I think when most of us picture this, we immediately think of the southeast.
Right, the borderlands.
Exactly, the rugged areas the Kurds call Bakur.
And that is the historical heartland, yes. But Melamed brings up this demographic fact that, honestly, it completely changes the picture.
The Istanbul connection. The Istanbul connection, the city with the largest Kurdish urban population in the entire Middle East. It's Istanbul, all due to migration over the decades.
That's such a crucial point. It means the Kurdish question isn't some distant border issue. It's woven right into the fabric of Turkey's biggest city.
It is. But you also can't ignore that border. Yeah. I mean, Melamed argues that the concentration of Kurds along the frontiers with Syria, Iraq, and Iran is exactly what makes this a central security, political, and identity issue for the Turkish state.
So how did we get here? If we look back a bit to the Ottoman era, the relationship was different, wasn't it?
Very different. The Kurds had a limited autonomy. They were loyal to the Sultan, and in return, they managed their own affairs to a degree.
That's the what could have been moment, I suppose.
It is, because everything fractures after World War I. You had the Treaty of Sevres in 1920, which, for a moment, envisioned Kurdish autonomy.
But that just evaporated.
Completely. Once the Turkish Republic was founded in 1923 under Ataturk, the model became strict centralization. One nation, one identity.
Which, by definition, meant denying a separate Kurdish identity.
Yes, actively denying it. The language was banned, customs were suppressed, and, as Melamed notes, that suppression is what eventually radicalized the situation and led to the rise of the PKK in the 1980s.
Okay, so let's fast forward to now, early 2026. The source material says we're in a new, cautious phase. It feels like things are shifting on the ground.
It's a major pivot. The PKK announced a halt to its armed campaign. This comes directly from their imprisoned leader, Abdullah Öcalan, calling for a shift toward a political struggle.
So from the mountains to the parliament, essentially.
Yeah.
What's Ankar's response been like? Melamed describes their framework as a terror-free Turkey.
Right, which sounds positive, but it's nuanced. They welcome the disarmament, of course, but they're not offering full amnesty. Öcalan is still in prison.
So the violence has de-escalated, but the core conflict is, as he puts it, not settled.
Not even close. Which brings us to that political arena you mentioned.
Exactly. If the new battlefield is politics, what are the rules of engagement? Because we've seen pro-Kurdish parties have real success entering parliament.
They have, but there's a mechanism the state uses to sort of cap that success.
You're talking about the trustee system.
I am. It's this cycle. A Kurdish candidate wins an election, becomes a mayor, then the state steps in, removes them on security charges, and just installs a state-appointed bureaucrat, a trustee.
So it completely short-circuits the democratic result.
It does. And Melamed's conclusion is that this leaves the Kurds politically constrained. They have the numbers, they have a voice in civil society, but they're always operating under this immense legal and security pressure.
It sounds like a state of limbo then. The fighting has paused, which is a huge step.
Yeah.
But the fundamental issues of recognition and real representation, they're still on the table.
It's a pause. It's definitely not a resolution.
In the next and concluding episode of our series, we'll explore the relationship between the Kurds and Israel.
This podcast is made possible by supporters like you. ITME is an independent, nonprofit institute committed to apolitical, intelligence-based Middle East education.
To learn more or to support our work, visit our website www.insidethemiddle-east.com.